Welcome to Watching Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Craven.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins. Led by fire.
Play aggressive, D.
It's a new day. New dawn. No longer the laughing stock. It's time to take command.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Hump Day! And that means I'm with my guy from South Carolina, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Hey, man, I'm working on a mobile studio here, a different location, remote location. Can't say where it is, but, we're making it work. We got to win against the Giants again, finally.
Let's go.
Finally.
Right?
So it wasn't pretty, but I woke up happy on Victory Monday, and I was happy to be celebrating a Victory Monday.
And look, let me stay there right quick. And look, it's been mixed. It's been a mixed emotions because we were talking, and there was definitely some animosity, some why can't we get this done? But I think the kicker just overshadowed all of that. But Will, is it? You know the Cowboys fans who lost 44-19 to the Saints.
Lost bad. Lost real bad.
And those Eagle fans who also lost to the Falcons by 1 point. They both been like, oh man, 7 field goals. Oh, you beat the Giants. Oh, and you kind of feel bad for it a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? I don't care how we got it done. We got it done.
No Philly fan can be talking because if their coach was not so field goal averse, they might not be worrying about themselves right now. But because Sirianni can't put himself through the agony of kicking field goals, well, look where you're at, losing to Kirk. And I mean, the Cowboys right now, you gotta you were riding high after week 1, but week 2 came and brought you back down to earth.
Real quick.
Yeah,
real quick. Shout out to who that? Shout out to Chase Young and the New Orleans Saints.
Did he do anything? Did he even have a tackle?
I don't think so.
Let me look. With the last game, he didn't even have a tackle. Let me even see. Let's see this here, Sean. Shout out to Chase Young.
Look, I'm just glad that a former Washington Commander is assisting and whooping the daggone Dallas Cowboys. That's basis of my whole motivation.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. This is Washington Football Weekly. We're going to share it. I know it's on my YouTube page, so I'm going to share it to the Let's Talk Football YouTube page so we can get you guys involved. But like Will alluded to, we got the W. Washington beat the Giants 21-18. Woo, is absolutely right. Because, a lot of that. Because it was in doubt all the way through. But thank God for Austin Seibert. He did it 7 for 7 after not being able to kick anything over the last couple of weeks. We have a great kicker on our own, but we also I think had a little repayment from our former kicker, Mr. Graham Gano, gets hurt on the first play of the game. Yeah, repay some old debt. It's okay. But they were without a kicker the entire game. We had ours. I mean, I'm just going to start there because that how I talked about the kicker in preseason. So what's going on, Will?
Well, so about the kickers, it's not a little karma. It's no karma from Graham Gano. He hates our franchise. He was pissed when we cut him, and he vowed revenge against us. Especially he went to Carolina and got really good. This is the no longer the laughing stock of the league anymore. Mm-hmm. The change has come because if you remember 2 or 3 years ago against the Giants, Sunday Night Football, we had a kick blocked. We had a bad snap or something. And Joey Sly's running down the field as fast as he can to make the tackle. And all of a sudden he gets up gimpy.
Yep.
And we're out a kicker against the Giants. So now this is just the comeuppance. This is the payback because we had to deal with it. Now they had a chance to deal with it. And
there you go.
that was the difference in the game many times. Like that final drive for the Giants, they had to go for it on 4th down because they could not kick it from the 30 and drop the ball. We got the ball back, win the game.
Yeah. And look, it did come down to that, but at the same time, I mean, look, we'll talk about the positives and negatives of the offense and the defense, but there were several moments that had us like, yeah, whoa. But then there was also several moments where you're like, are you guys even on the field? Like, what is happening? We one of the things we'll discuss is Devin Singletary, who we both said coming into this game, this guy's a journeyman. This guy's average best. This is nothing. When I saw him gashing us, now let me preface this by saying I'm an opportunist, okay? And I definitely picked him up on fantasy. And I started him on fantasy this week, so I enjoyed his success. But still, when you look at it from Washington fan, it's like, Will, what? Are you kidding me, man? We're giving this guy?
Yeah, no kidding. Like, how is Devin Singletary? And he's wearing number 26. So how is Devin Singletary looking like Saquon out there in FedEx Field, as I know, a new stadium, whatever. But like that is the place that number 26 for running back for the Giants just eats. And it's like, come on, how is this happening again? My thing was like, I was like, this is what I get. In fantasy, I was choosing between, and I really liked Malik Neighbors. I was like, this guy's going to be good. He's worth getting. And it was Jalen Waddle or Malik Neighbors. And I was like, I mean, look at what the Dolphins' offense is. And Daniel Jones, I mean, I got to go with Waddle. So I picked Waddle. Of course, now he doesn't have a quarterback. And Neighbors blew up in the second game like I thought he was going to. So I was like, oh, come on.
They don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I also thought, hey, it's Daniel Jones. This is garbage. And I released him, and I think I picked up Noah Brown or something like that. Like, oh, we're going to do something. Nope, I was wrong. I was wrong. But look, we got people in here. What is going on? Alex Schomburg, first appointment. Miss you guy. Hey, what's going on, buddy, man? Hopefully safe travels to you. You can't tell us where you're at, but thank you for your service, my guy. And saying Schomburg, they're keeping the spirit of Bruce Allen alive, winning off the field.
We went on the field, finally.
But they went on the field. Yeah, much love, right.
We don't win off the field much,
right? But to you, Mr. Falcon, thank you, sir, and Captain. Be captain, getting that W, bringing it back. But look, Will, let's get into it. Let's start with this. The offense. Look, I'm going to take Siebert off of the offense because he's a kicker. He's special teams. Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. That is my excitement for this offense. I love what they're doing. I love the fact that we ran the flipping ball this way and that. I love that we continue to get the ball to our backs out of the backfield. Getting Austin Eckler, we thought this was going to be this way, and it is actually absolutely one of the best moves I think we made, and he is showing out for these first 2 games. I love every minute of it, Will. I'm going to send it to you on that one because I'm excited about that, and I don't want to damper it down. I'm going to send it to you. What do you think, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've seen right now the identity. Nathan, you paying attention? I just said your buzzword. The identity of our team is going to be through our running backs, whether it's through the handoffs, whether it's through hitting them on screens. And they were featured very heavily, and they did what we needed them to do. I mean, like you're saying, Brian Robinson ran hard for another game. I was so excited to see that. When he got stopped in the middle of the field, he kept his legs churning. He saw there was an opening, and he busted 30 more yards down the field. And I got hyped during it. Austin Eckler, he continues to take short throws and turn them into 25-yard gains.
Yes.
He's doing it with, he was doing it running too. The draw play he had that he ran down under the 5-yard line, so he continues to show he's got it. The little swing pass to him out, Cliff waited. What a great design play where Cliff had everybody going right and he allowed the running back to slip out to the left and Jaden just turned and flipped it and he had the whole field to him. So this is going to help out a young quarterback. We talked about all the time, what can you do to make life easier for Jaden to not make it so confusing? Because you saw in the beginning of the game, all the Giants were doing were having him go in his F it, I'm running it mode. So by getting the running backs involved, both running and passing, it just made his life easier. So the offense opened up in the second half. And so I love seeing what those backs did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And to your point about getting open, Ertz got some action, but what have we been crying about the last couple of weeks? Get Terry McLaurin the ball. They did that early, first play of the game. They did it often. He got 6 receptions, but 22 yards? I mean, I feel like we need Ab here to be like, see, we told you, possession receiver. That's what it is. So, I mean, can we be excited that they gave him more targets, even though it wasn't for anything?
No,
exactly.
Not at all. Like 6 for 22 is not getting it done.
No.
I mean, that is, yeah. And there were a couple times they targeted him. Deontay Banks made a really nice play on a deep slant and stuff like that. But I was expecting a little bit more from Terry this season. And it is the second week. But yeah, we're going to need a little bit more out of our best receiver for both his side and Cliff's side and finding ways to get him open.
Oh yeah. So what other positives do you have for the offense, Will? What are you looking at?
So we saw what we've been hearing come to fruition, that besides Terry, the next best weapons is going to be Zach Ertz. And early on, he was that move the chains guy that they wanted. The announcers, it was really funny, were joking with him about, he's not really going to break a lot once he catches it. He's pretty much going to catch it and go down these days in his age. But he was getting first downs or he was drawing penalties to get the first down. So he was a difference maker. He was being that safety valve for Jaden. So I thought that was huge. And then, listen, man, I'm just going to say it. We got our guy at QB. Like, I am so excited watching him. I'm really calm back there watching him because he looks calm. Do you remember when we drafted Patrick Ramsey and how his feet would be tapping the entire time he was in the pocket and then he'd throw it? And he had an arm, but he just looked so scared in there where JD5 just sits there. And there was some negatives. In the beginning, he ran the ball too much.
Yes.
And when he got popped, that was concerned because he got hit by a helmet right in the ribs. And I thought, oh gosh, I mean, this could be a broken rib. He could be out for weeks now because of this. Thank goodness he wasn't. But then he was able to open up. I mean, we had 425 yards of offense. We moved the ball in the Giants.
We did.
We talked about how in 2 games now, we've 16 drives and 12 of them have been in scoring opportunities. A couple of those against the Bucks. So maybe I'll say 10 of 16, but we are moving the ball on offense and giving us a chance. So that's some of the stuff that I like. What about you?
Hey, it looks far better than it has in the last couple of years. And look, you'd be a fool not to say that this does look so much more crisp, we have so much more confidence in it because even some of the passes are like, okay, quick screen to Diami. Look at him. Takes a 2-yard pass, 5 or 6 yards, Eckler hitting the dump downs. It does make you feel good. And when he takes off, you are kind of like, here we go. Hold on to your seats for the injury factor, but also for the fact that it's like, oh, this guy can take it. This guy can take it. And look, that first drive, 2nd and 7, free blitzer right up to him, jumps on his back, and you're like, oh my God, he's down. He goes, breaks it, doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage, but still scrambles out and survives. And you're just like, we got it. Yeah. You're like, we definitely got it. Later on the drive, it's that 3rd and 10 where on one side, we'll discuss this, it's a quick one look, and then he decides to run, and then he has it, and there's 2 guys there, and you're like, oh snap, just go out of bounds. And he does a little shimmy step, and both guys go, and you're like, okay, he can get the first down. I mean, it's Madden type stuff. It's like, yes, this guy, oh my God, it is. But we got to, we'll talk about the negatives, but I love from 20 to 20, we're going. I mean, and now especially that we've gotten that running game going, so much so that I love the fact that he only had 44 yards on 10 carries. He wasn't having almost 20 carries and having to rely on him. We relied on that run game. He did get it out to a couple more receivers. He did get it out to a bunch of guys, and I love that. And that's where I'll be. The line gave him the necessary time. The line was moving the ball for our run game. I mean, we looked the score and how things kind of fell apart in the red zone. It wasn't indicative of how good we did look at times in this game. So, I mean, what do you think, Will?
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing where, all right, so we only put up 21 points. We didn't get a single touchdown, but we had 400 yards of offense. Yeah. We had over 200 yards rushing, I'm pretty sure. At 133. Yeah, we had over 200 yards rushing. I mean, that's exactly how we want to play. The new guy, Noah Brown, came in and caught a crucial 34-yard catch to set up the field goal. We spread the ball around in that second half. I feel like Jaden, after he got popped, it almost was sort of like, okay, I can't keep doing this.
Yep.
I need to start throwing the ball. And he did. And by doing that, he got his guys involved, and they were open. And so maybe this continues to be some of his evolution of it. But we really were moving the ball. And I will say this one thing. This is a little bit of me being too much of a fan. I wonder, I've heard this, and I can kind of, I'm going to jump on board with this idea. Were we careful in the red zone because we knew we could get 3? Okay. Knowing that the Giants couldn't get 3 points. They had to score. So it was our mindset of 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. As long as you're getting something, you're making it more challenging on them. And so it's like, if they did have a kicker, would they have been able to, would we have been a little bit more aggressive with our calls in the red zone to get in the end zone? Whereas it was more like, let's run some plays, let's try. But if we don't make it, we're not going to give up an interception because we know we got 3 in our back pocket.
Well, so yes, I definitely think that we definitely did kind of sit back almost in college, Kentucky, where you're not doing anything to mess it up. We're going to go as far as this game plan takes us, and hopefully we'll do just enough to win. And I think that was like that. Now, on the flip side, and we'll talk about this in the negatives, we had a lot of 4th and 1s where somebody jumped or somebody, with some penalty or something that brought it back, and it threw us out to where it was now you have a 4th and 6, and albeit in the red zone, you're like, this kind of forces your hand. You know what I mean? Because we did try to go for it. I think in that first drive, we went for it on 4th and 1 and gave it to Brian Robinson. He ended up busting and getting a couple yards. So we did try to do a little bit more, but I do, to your point, I do agree that in the red zone, where it was kind of like, all right, we know we have an advantage. We know they are not going to kick. They cannot kick. Their punter can't do it. So let's get what we can and get the W. And if that was true of fact, you know what? I mean, that's kind of smart, knowing your team, knowing the situation. Our defense is having problems stopping them.
Right.
Our offense can get down the field, but can't score. Let's capitalize on what we can do. And Austin Siebert got himself a job for sure.
Yeah.
So, but Will, let's flip it over, because to that point, we were in the red zone 6 times, not 1 touchdown, Will. You're right. We had over 400 yards. We had I think 22 first downs. 2 weeks in a row, we have over 20 first downs. Great. We, again, win the time of possession, Will. Why the heck is it only 21-18 with 7 field goals? You know what I mean? Like, talk to me.
Well, I mean, they talk about the league defenses. This is from the 20 to the 20. They'll give you something, and then everybody just seems to recognize, unless they can get an initial stop early or a sack early, that really puts an offense in second and long, third and long. You're kind of playing a bend but don't break defense. Most of the league is, and so I mean, this is normal. I think. We got a quarterback. We got a rookie quarterback who, like, that field shrinks now. Things get a whole lot tighter. His lanes just got a whole lot tighter. If you notice with Jaden, he does not. Can't say he doesn't want to make a mistake because no player does. He refuses to make a mistake out there and throw a bad ball. He would rather get sacked or run it than force something. So, right now things are probably a whole lot tighter than what he's used to, and he's not seeing what he likes. And so, we're not getting in at the moment. But to me, it's only week 2. I know it's going to be something that they're going to continue to work on. If we're 3 more weeks from now, we're still having this problem. Now we got a problem. Now we got a trend. It was just this one game where we weren't able to. But let's also remember, none of the rookie quarterbacks have thrown a touchdown pass this year.
Very true. Very true.
There's a learning curve to this.
Oh yeah. Oh, and look, there absolutely is, and I think there is a point to that he does not want to make a mistake, and we got to give him credit for not. There are no turnovers. We've seen Bo Nix had multiple interceptions, and we've seen Caleb struggling, and all these other guys. Jaden Daniels has not had any turnovers. He has had fumbles, but even this game, he got that together. Yeah. My thing is, if we look on that one play that you sent in, it was on Twitter where they said Jaden Daniels, where he ran, the one where he got hit in the ribs. When you see the play from the blimp view, you see Ertz wide open underneath. Now, I know that's not the deep ball or whatever, but you got to take what the defense gives you. And now, obviously, in hindsight, it's 2020, and you see what happened on it, because when he did start running initially, you're like, oh, here you go. But then once he gets stood up and exposed himself, now just that quickly, you see how quickly it can change. So I've seen a lot of that. Even there was a lot of times where he got sacked in the red zone, where you have a guy underneath, get the ball out to him and let him. I mean, if we're going to play safe and conservative, okay, great. Let's get it to him. Get these guys a chance to do it, because as we've seen, our running backs can make plays. Ertz can get it, in that spot. Utilize your tight ends. So again, and this is nitpicking, because like you said, through the 20 and 20, he looks amazing. There are certain times in this game where you're just looking at him like, oh, yeah, baby, we got something. But it's just that efficiency in the red zone. 0 of 6 in the red zone. Well, I can't go for that, man.
Right. No, he's got some evolving to be done. One of the things I get nervous about when he runs, it's not the first tackle. It's if he gets stood up, the next guy that comes in, the hit he's not expecting, so that's where I think he's got to be careful. We talked about that play, that he ran on instead of throwing to Zach Ertz, where it's like, look at what's happened during the game. I know Zach Ertz isn't the fastest guy out there anymore, but your running backs are breaking tackles. You can give them a 5-yard throw and let them do their thing. And we can get the ball down where we need to. To your point, he needs to be willing to take that underneath sometimes. But here's the part that's really going to kick you on that play. I didn't know this until I was listening to a pod, but so Dan Quinn was talking about it on Monday. He's like, he's we're working with him on when he gets out of the pocket, he needs to pick his head up and look.
Right.
Because on that play that he could have thrown to Zach, that he kept the ball, Luke McCaffrey got wide open for a 50 yards downfield. He was open. He could have just slung it, and it would have been a touchdown. But he started running and started looking ahead. And so they're working on it. It makes me feel good that the coaches are seeing this enough to work on, what he needs to work on. But like Dan Quinn was saying, we got to get him to let that loose.
Yeah. No,
let it rip is what he says. That's his. So in the new phrase for this coaching staff, last coaching staff was position flex. Dan Quinn is let it rip.
Let it rip. I like that. Yeah. Brings me back to the old days. The Ripper, Mark Rippon.
Yes.
Let's go, baby. Bring back that glory, man. So look, you got any more negatives for the offense? I'm gonna go easy on them.
The offensive line. I mean, part of you talked about why we had struggles in the red zone. Yeah. It wasn't the holding penalties that we had. It was concentration. It was false starts. It was excitements. We kept derailing ourselves. We were looking to go for it on 4th down, and then Ben Sinnott, has a false start, and now we're at 4th and 6, and we're kicking a field goal. So the offensive line, they weren't bad. I don't think it's worth ripping them about, but they had little penalties that, and just like last year's team, we can't take little penalties. We can't overcome them very much right now.
Yep.
Yeah. So the offensive line did not have their best day. They did a great job run blocking. Pass blocking was okay. We still gave up 5 sacks. So not the best job pass blocking, but the biggest thing is they have to clean up the concentration penalties.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 10 total penalties for 69 yards. So got to get that stuff under wraps. Nathan, thank you for joining us. Am I crazy or did Will move?
I am in a different location tonight. You are correct. And Nathan, you came in just a little bit later because I just shouted you out with what our identity was. I thought of you when I was talking about that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got to get at Nathan, man. Apparently, he wants to let go of his coach. So
yeah. I can't believe they're 0-2.
Oh, man. So, look, let's go into defense. And Will, I'm going to send it to you first. Do you have any positives for me today?
I do. Cleveland Farrell was brought in here to be a run stuffer, and he's leading our team in sacks. Now I got a negative for that, but he's got a sack in each game, so he's already doing better than Chase Young. That's my positive.
That's Frankie Lavu and Bobby Wagner for me. I talked to you about that. Yeah. Both of those guys doing what we needed them to do. I think Lavu had 11 tackles, Bobby had 9. You know what I mean? St. Juiced having that one where he punched the ball out, and you're like, oh, okay. You can do this time. You can do that. I'll let you do that time. That was a good play. Thank you very much. But other than that, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say positive things when you give up almost 100 yards, like I told you before, to Singletary. When Daniel Jones balls out, when Malik Neighbors has 10 receptions for over 120 yards and a touchdown. It's hard to be positive about these guys. Will, they gashed us in the run game. And you to your point about, Singletary wearing number 26, I couldn't tell the difference between him and Saquon. I mean, he looked amazing in that game, man. What do you think?
Yeah, no, he did. I was like, here we go again.
Right.
Well, what was one of my keys last week to victory? Can't let him be Danny Dimes.
Yep.
He wasn't quite Danny Dimes, but he was not the normal Daniel Jones that the rest of the league gets. Like, he wasn't Daniel flipping Jones.
Only us that gets this.
Right. So, I mean, the corners look bad.
Yeah.
Dare I say we missed Emmanuel Forbes out there? I don't know if we can go that far.
It was a stretch.
But what we had out there wasn't good enough.
No.
I mean, Mike Davis could not keep up with Neighbors. He had 5 missed tackles. Noah Igbenogany did a little bit better, but, you don't have a whole lot of, I mean, and it could just be a Neighbors thing, but, I mean, we got bailed out by his drop pass to get the ball back, We don't have any pass rush right now. The guy I was most excited about this time, Luvu was my most exciting, but I was really pumped about Dorrance Armstrong. Jared said it last week. I saw him in the comments, so if he sees this later on, I saw him last week when he said, what happened to your pass rush? How'd those guys do?
Yep.
It's a great question because for 2 weeks in a row, where has Dorrance Armstrong been? Where has Dante Fowler been? Fowler follows Dan Quinn. What our pass rush is non-existent right now.
Yeah, and look, myself, Ab talked all day today through voice messages on our phone just about, we've known that there's holes in the secondary. We know that some of these guys are young, and these guys got to figure out, how to play in this system, how to play whatever. They still got a lot to learn, but we've always thought if you have a front seven, and namely a D line that can create havoc and pressure the quarterback, that will hide some of those issues in the back end. But if that front seven ain't stopping the run, ain't pressuring the quarterback, they're not getting it done, and not even necessarily they're not pressuring, but Danny Dimes is able to get out of there and move around and look down the field. I mean, what do we expect from the secondary? We already knew there was issues there. Yeah. And if our front seven's not doing it, so I said those stats, from Wagner and Lavu, and yeah, I mean that's great at the end of the day. But that's why I had to talk to people about that today, man. Don't let these stats fool you. You know what I mean? A quarterback can have 90 some odd yards and still be integral in the win, whereas another guy can have over 400 yards or all these tackles and all this stuff, and it didn't matter. He got the tackles because we kept getting gashed. And they kept running right up at him. And that's what we saw a lot of today. I mean, thankfully, they didn't have a kicker, so they had to go for two. Or if they did, they had to go for it on fourth down a number of times. But, I mean, a good team will, let's be very honest, a good team, which is not what we faced yesterday on Sunday, a good team will take advantage of that a la Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? So I was somewhat confident after week one. I'm not confident now. I'm not confident at all in our defense, man. Like we talked about it today. Like, is it time for the fire sale? Like, I don't want to go that drastic, but at the same time, it's like, this is the Giants. That's my quick rant for that.
Yeah. Well, this shows how stats can be deceiving. 20 tackles by your linebackers. Okay. Where were the tackles? Were they at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, or were they 5 yards downfield?
Right.
Were they basically making touchdown saving or big play saving tackles?
Yep.
We had a couple. Bobby Wagner filled the hole a couple times. I mean, Luvu was all over the place, but some of it he was all over the place laterally and not north-south making plays. So, yeah, stats can be deceiving. But I think when it comes to this defense, I had a lot of faith and Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. coming from Dallas to where, you're going to be able to make chicken salad out of this chicken that you were given. Mm-hmm. All right. And through 2 weeks in the past game, well, just in general, in 2 weeks, it looks pretty atrocious. Mm-hmm. And our pass defense doesn't really show so much signs of how are they going to get better, and our pass rush is non-existent.
No.
So if our pass defense can't cover and we can't put any pressure on the quarterback, I don't know how we're going to do better. Unless this is going to be just like, hey, last year, Jaden, you got to score on every drive because our defense sucks.
That's where we're going. Look, I think, and it's funny, we had a voice message from Ab, and I couldn't do it while I was driving, but I can do it now, where he basically said, close your eyes and look at the team you have. It doesn't look much different than last year. No. Yes, there's the excitement from Jaden. There's excitement because we're starting to run the ball and the new faces and the new coaches. But I'm not seeing anything that's saying this is not the 4-13 team that we had. Somebody almost took my head off when I was like, this is the same team that we had last year, but they're not proving me wrong. I mean, maybe I'm overreacting because it's the Giants, but still, we could have easily, we were in the red zone enough that we could have put this game out of reach early. We were driving down the field, they weren't stopping us. And I get the 20-20 thing, but the way that it looked with the stats, with all that stuff, and I know that's misleading, but it's just good God. If we don't score on every drive, and I mean score some touchdowns, how can we expect us not to be 4-13 again? We got to get it together. And this is week 2, yes. So I'll pump my brakes, but I'm not going to be naive and sit there and be like, this hole. This is not going to get fixed tomorrow.
Right. It's
going to take some time. And we talked about free agency, and we talked about, let this guy go and bring this guy in. It's not going to be that easy. This more and more, this looks like a just flat out rebuild. Like we might have some success, but it might not be pretty at times.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do think the fact that they didn't really address corner, where any fan could see that corner was a weak spot, it makes me wonder, were they thinking that the pass rush would mask it? And so far, it hasn't been producing. One thing, and I am totally in on Joe Witt Jr. I want to make that clear. But he's also now the defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Where Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator in Dallas, and now he's not. So it could be a learning curve situation. DQ very much lets his coordinators run some things. He's overseeing it all, but I think he lets Joe Witt Jr. kind of take the reins here. So, and also is it new players adapting to their scheme, a continued adaptation? Is it our old players, buying into the whatever they're teaching? Yeah. Are they following it? One thing I heard that was kind of interesting. I was like, I don't know enough to know if this is good or bad, but they sort of were talking to John and Duran and saying, well, we'd like for you to do it this way. But if you prefer doing it a different way, do that to where you're comfortable as long as you get the job done. Well, I don't know if John and Duran are getting the job done right now. So if they're not getting the job done doing it their way, now you need to make them do it your way. If there's a certain way you want it coached and played.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's kind of weird to me, because if you got a scheme, if you got some, that was the whole problem we had with Chase Young, is that he went rogue. He didn't go with the scheme. He was sitting here setting situations up where they had lanes now for them to run through. So no, I don't necessarily like that.
No, that's almost getting a little bit too player friendly to literally say, this is how we want to do things, but if you want to do it your way, do it your way.
Yeah, I'm not.
Unless, and like I said, unless it's this whole buying out period where they're saying, like, you can do it your way, but if you're not getting the production, we're gonna do it our way, and you're gonna have to adapt. And maybe they're giving them a chance to feel each other out. I don't know.
Well, it didn't work.
All right. To your point, I don't know what more we can do right now. We were rattling off free agents. There's Xavier Howard, used to play for the Dolphins. Patrick Peterson was with the Steelers. J.C. Jackson. Those guys all were out there all March during free agency. Nobody went after them. All right. So, like, their names, they are big names to know about, but they're big names from past performances. I mean, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are releasing or letting Patrick Peterson sign somewhere else, and I can't name for you Pittsburgh's cornerbacks, what does that tell you about his ability in 2024 and what they thought about it?
We've seen how much success that defense has been having, because Justin Fields is in there not doing much, but doing enough with how well they're playing.
Right. So it's like, to me, it's like, and J.C. Jackson, now he was a Belichick guy, but he went back to New England. Does not seem to be the same player. Who knows? Maybe, he tore his ACL. Maybe he, what he had that last time is not still there. Maybe he's not the same player that he once was, And
is that the guy that took the headshot at, did he go to Denver? That's not the guy that took the headshot at. Okay, that's not the guy that took the headshot at Logan Thomas when we played the Broncos.
No, Kareem Jackson.
Okay, yeah. JC was pretty solid.
Yeah, he a Terp. He was real good in New England. Got big money when he went to San Diego, Los Angeles, whatever they were at the time. But he never was the same, and he did get hurt. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if there's anybody off the streets we could bring in to fix this.
Yeah, more and more they're kind of making it look like another kind of feeling out here. Hey, see what you guys can do. See what you guys do. We're gonna see. Okay, and they're just behind the scenes. All right. This guy ain't working. Cut. This guy ain't working. Boom. And it's just like you said, business. It's just business. And for the fan, it stinks because you start getting loyal to some of these guys and you start getting close to them, and it's just like, no. But in truth, that's what this is a business. So we'll see. And if you don't win, if you don't get things done, we talked about Nathan bruh, Nate, you in the comments getting rid of his head coach. He's talking about they want Harbaugh gone, and it's like, guy won a Super Bowl. The guy was a game away from getting back to the Super Bowl a year ago. They're in the playoffs every year, but you know that there's certain things you need to do to get to that next level, and they know that window's closing. So we're just trying to get into the playoffs. So let's, damn it, my Orioles lost again. Damn.
Don't get your hopes up this fall. They're not going to do anything.
No. Oh yeah, we've been slumping recently. It is not good. Not good. But look, let's move on to, oh man, the best part of this game, the best part of our team right now on both sides, the special teams, our kicker, Will Austin Seeper. Hey, listen, I tried to tell you in the offseason, I was incredibly wrong with the other kickers that I mentioned. But this guy, who I have no clue, I didn't even see him in here, but 7 for 7. I love this guy, man. Our kickers are back, Will, man. What you think?
Okay, let's not anoint Mark Mosley here just yet.
Hey, I did yesterday.
But so here's the bigger part. This shows how savvy our front office is, because he was in Orchard Park? Flushing Meadows, wherever the Jets practice. He was on the Jets 90-man roster, and we went up there and did our joint practices, and they saw him kick. So when he didn't make the Jets roster, because they have Greg Zuerlein, they were able to be like, this is someone to keep our eye on, and they got him. That's exactly what we're looking for is a front office that's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Exactly. And it came to fruition. Now, look, 7 for 7. The reason why we were hyping up, obviously, we won the game by it, but at the same time, we have come from guys that have not been able to hit normal kicks, 40-yarders, 30 things like that. So the consistency, huge. The how crucial, how clutch some of those kicks were. Amazing and we're also able to finish drives. Will, I love this. All right, help me not to go over the deep end though. Is this something that we can say, okay, now we got a kicker, we don't have to worry about this? Or is it like, all right, 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna have to be an issue? I mean, do we know that? Can we answer that?
No, I'm still in wait and see mode on this guy.
Right.
Yeah, no. We don't have our Mark Mosley yet. I'm not kidding. He did really well. He also had easy field goals. Yeah. Did he have one over 40 yards? He might have had one, but he did not have difficult kicks this week. He did not have the kicks that Cade York did, but he missed both of them, but they were both over 45 yards. So let's wait and see. This guy also was not very good with the Browns. He missed like 11 field goals in a year, or has missed over 11 field goals in his NFL career. So he's not this like wonder kid that was sitting out there, but he's serviceable right now.
He done what most of the kickers that we've had could not do. His long was, to your point, a 45-yarder, but still, he made all 7 of them. All right. And if you can do that in Washington, I will accept it. Yeah, no, to your point, I mean, I'm glad that he was able to do that. He did what we needed him to do, which is, it seems so foreign and so far-fetched, but we've had troubles with that. So hopefully he can continue it and we can put him in those situations. But to your point about, 45 being long, I mean, that also says that we were in the red zone. And we were not far out of the red zone. We were close enough to where we should be getting touchdowns. You know what I mean? Him making all these little dink and duck short kicks. I mean, great that he's got it. But now we got to flip to the other side. I'm the one who always mentions it, and I'm so excited to not have to mention not one punt from our guy Tressway, 0 punts. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand. I used to talk about last year how this guy would have more punt yards than our quarterback would have passing yards.
Yes.
To him not to have a single punt in this entire game, even though it's the Giants, well, come on, man. Come on. That shows me we're making progress. We are doing something. So I'm excited to see that. It's a small thing, but the fact that we didn't have the punt once, come on.
I wish I was close enough to the field because Tress has a great sense of humor to walk by and go, "Hey, good game out there. Nice job."
Right.
Just to see what his reaction would be. Since he's like, "Yeah, I did a good job holding on all those kicks."
Right.
I also want to point out that you just clipped something that I could use in the future when you said, when we talk about Sam Howell not being given a good shot, and you just said, well, our punter would get more yards than our quarterback would.
Oh. Yes, it is true. It is true. Last year was a rough year, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely I definitely resorted to mentioning our punter a lot and how many yards he got.
Right.
Sam,
offensive ineptitude. But
hey, 3,900 yards for Sam. All right. Yeah. Is JD5 going to get that? If he don't, I think I'm going to start to pick it to bring Sam back.
Right.
Come on. He's got a year where he's sitting behind Geno. Geno's got that job. So he's going to sit there and rest.
I wish him the best. I do. I absolutely do. But, how about this? How about the opening kickoff of the game? We returned for a touchdown. Austin Eckler, who he goes, I've returned kicks since my rookie year. He told Grant Danny, and we got him back there. And he housed it.
Yes. Yo, Will, when I saw that, and it obviously got upset with the flag or whatever, but when I saw that, I'm like, what? It made it look easy, man. Just weaving in and out, taking it there. And I'm sitting here, and you know what I first thought? What is he? He's not 30, is he?
He probably is about 30.
No. What number is he?
Number 30. Brian Mitchell.
Yeah, B. Mitch. Right. That's the first thing I thought, where it was kind of that stocky build, kind of weaved his way through and got up the field. And unfortunately, I'm so cynical that I looked at the flag and I immediately took my joy away. But when's the last time we had an opening game kickoff return for a touchdown?
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
So I am so excited for that. And we saw it a little bit against Tampa, but to see that in the start of that game, if we can clean up those penalties, man, forget Jameson Crowder. Keep Eckler over here and let's do this. Yeah, that's how I feel. Yes. That's just like because of the Duke stuff, but whatever.
I love Jameson, but yeah. No, well, I mean, but you're right. The biggest thing there is that penalty, and it's like every time there's a special teams penalty, it's so daggone frustrating because most of the time it's an egregious penalty.
Yeah.
Where you want to look at it and go, why did you do that? Did you really need to do that? And that he was tugging on the dude's jersey as he's running. Like, come on, dude. Like, what are you thinking? And this guy is a 2-time Pro Bowler for special teams.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that should have let us know how the day was going to go. But again, we're picking and choosing little things because the fact of the matter is the field goal kicker did, the punter took the day off, and our return team was credible and able to get yards. We had multiple other returns or whatever, but special teams was by far the best part of this game, and that I talk about it all the time last year. Complementary football. If we can get the special teams to help us out, that will bail our offense out of a lot of issues that we're having. Give us time to gel, as a lot of people have said, and get us going, man. So I'm excited to see that, man. Definitely. All right, man. We are going to switch it up. We're going to start to talk about the upcoming game real quick. Before we do, week 1, I lost a bet to our friend Misador of the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I have to shout out his show, The Crew Roundtable, 9 a.m. on Sundays. They preview all the games. He's a Buccaneers fan. He's got his couple guys up there. Actually, real quick, let me get their names. Eye Candy Andy, Packer Backer Brian Robinson, and Stout Mike Stout in the building, man. So shout out to those guys. They do good work. And Will, I don't know if you saw on my Facebook today, he actually posted something that he does, which kind of like a
graphic.
Yeah, like a graphic of like not cartoons, but it's like our mascot against others. He did one for me last week, and I meant to put it up here, and I didn't do it. Here it is with the Washington against the Giants. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm mad I didn't get the other one. I was going to put that one up here too. So shout out to Misador, man, doing amazing work. Yeah, this is amazing. I absolutely love it. And it was accurately what happened. All right, we took the Giants and brought them down. Let's go.
Yeah.
But Joe, let's move right along, and we got to talk about it, man. Cincinnati Bengals. We're playing them Monday night. We know the weapons: Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins look like he's getting back in the fold. They no longer have Mixon, but they do have a couple guys in the backfield. And Will, after week 1, man, I was like, bring them on. Bring them on this week. Even after we lost, I was like, oh, yeah. They lost to the Patriots. I was like, oh, I'm ready. Let's go. Yep. Bring them on. After last Sunday, where they went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, might want to pump my brakes, man. What should we expect for the Bengals this coming week?
Well, not only did they go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, now they got ticked off at how the game ended. So now they're extra motivated. They are ticked off, and it's a Monday night game. I'm like, oh, yeah, you could be setting this up worse for us right now. But so looking at their team, obviously their biggest strength is going to be their quarterback to wide receiver duo. And Jamar Chase is a top 3 wide receiver in the league.
Easily.
We have horrible corners. This is a concern for us, without a doubt. Is what are we going to do about Jamar Chase? I'm sure he's looking at this saying, oh, here we go. Monday Night Football. Here we go. Joe Burrow's had a little bit of a down start to the season. Maybe he's showing how much he misses T. Higgins. They've got some nice bookends on the offensive line with Orlando Brown, with former Ravens, if Nathan's still paying attention, Trent Brown, and then they also drafted Amarius Mims from Georgia. So they put some capital into the offensive line there. A sleeper player on their team, tight end Mike Gesicki.
Yep.
He seems to be getting a little bit of a revival. He's away from New England. He's got a better quarterback. So, offensively, they've got some weapons that we're going to be really concerned about, namely Jamar Chase. Can we do anything to slow them down? I am going to say the same thing I said about Devin Singletary here. Zach Moss doesn't scare me. I don't really think he's much, but you never know with our defense what's going to happen. And then on their defense, they put a lot of draft capital the last couple of years into the corners. We could take note of this. They've used first-round picks on Dax Hill. They've used second-round picks on Cam Taylor-Britt, who had a sick interception last week. They used a second-round pick on DJ Turner. So we could use some of that to get an influx of some young corner talent. And then, Trey Hendrickson's their pass rusher that we got to be worried about with our tackles. Our tackles aren't that great. So, there could be some issues. I don't think their defense is as scary as their offense is, but they've got some players back there as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got some dogs. We know that. And, to your point about the defenses, this is nothing that I think we can't get past. With what I've seen on offense, I'm confident enough in our run game if we can stick to it. And with Jaden Daniels going that, okay, I think we can do it. What really scares me is something that we've talked about, man, at length, is their wide receivers and their quarterback against our secondary. Moss, Zach Moss, Chase Brown, a guy I think is first or second year guy out of Illinois. I actually think he's a rookie. They don't put fear in my heart. I'm not worried about them. I think we'll be good, but I am deathly afraid of Jamar Chase. And if T. Higgins, he's questionable right now. If he plays in that game and they can get that 1-2 punch with a solid tight end, oh man. And that is what opens up the holes for that run game.
Yes.
That's where all of a sudden you get this guy with a cheap 15, a cheap 20-yard gash play where he hits us, and then all of a sudden now we're on our heels. So we're going to have to shut down that run and just, I guess, contain the secondary. It's one of those situations where we're going to have to get momentum, have to create turnovers, have to, play above our weight, because to your point, Monday night, prime time in Cincinnati, is a recipe for disaster. And the way things have looked, we could go down. But, going into this, I feel, maybe I'm foolish, but I feel confident. I feel like we could get this done, Will. What do you think?
Well, the way that we can do it without giving away too much of the keys to victory, though, is the fact that our strength right now is running the ball, and that is the Bengals' weakness. So we talk about their strength being their wide receivers against our glaring weakness of our corners. They're giving up 120 yards to Ramondre Stevenson, 92 Isaiah Pacheco. They're giving up more than 150 yards a game on the ground. Yeah. And we just ran for over 200 yards against the Giants. We just neutralized 2 pass rushers, and took them out of the game. So that, the key is going to be, can we prevent Joe Burrow from having all those chances to throw it to Jamar Chase? Can we limit the possessions during the game using our run game so that we're not having to worry about it? Let's gash what they're not good at.
Right. And if we can do that and keep them off the field, it could be a happy day. It could be a happy day. But look, Will, let's go ahead and get into it, and appreciate all of you that are here watching. But you know what we do. We got to do our keys to victory. Yo, absolutely. We do our keys to victory. Always do 2 keys to victory on what we think Washington could do to capitalize and get the W. Will, I'll come to you first. What is your first key to victory this week?
Don't hate on me. I'm going to get it 2 weeks in a row now. We got to run the ball. You got to give you being the running back. I try and slip it in before you can. But, yeah, we need to mimic the game plan against the Giants, and the fact that we were running a lot. We were running effective. It's not so much that we had 25 carries to Brian Robinson. It was the carries went somewhere. We weren't getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and that's what we need. Eckler getting his burst, Jaden Daniels being part of that, to the point where if he's not seeing what he likes, running it and getting first downs. But being a part of that, that's going to be the key, because it will slow down the game. It will slow things down and take the stress off Jaden and his arm. Yes. And so ball control is what we're going for right now. The old Marty Schottenheimer offense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And hey, right along with that, my first key to victory is Jaden Daniels. Take what the defense gives you. If they give you the little dump off to the running back or to the tight end, take it. Get the yards and keep moving down the field. Don't sit here and I'm not opposed to people holding the ball and looking downfield and trying, like we saw Luke. If he would have held it on that one play, Luke McCaffrey's open. Yes, if that's there, I get that. But if they're sitting back in there and you got a guy underneath, hit him, get him up quick, and then we can start using that tempo. Then we can start, moving that ball a little bit quicker on them and get them on their heels, man. Take what the defense gives you, Jaden, man, because it's there. It's definitely there. All right, Will, what's your second one?
So we're not going to stop Jamar Chase. No. And let's hope that T. Higgins is still out and not able to play. Yes. So my second is going to be Andre who?
Yeah.
Like we know that Jamar is going to get his, but we can't let, that I don't even know the guy's last name. It begins with an I. He got a touchdown against the Chiefs. We can't let the unknown players beat us because we're so focused on some of the other guys as well. We could probably double coverage Jamar and run out some of the other ones and let Andre try and beat us, let Gesicki try and Jeremy Chin, Quan Martin combination with those, but we can't get beat by the lesser guys.
No, I'm right there with you. And my last one is, we talked about this all day offline. We need our D-line to come alive. Our linebackers are getting those tackles, but that also says that a lot of guys are getting past that D-line. We need our D-line to create havoc. We need it to look more like it did against Tampa Bay when we got hands on Baker. That Ab was talking to us about that today. We got hands on Baker, and Baker, to his credit, was very elusive and was able to kind of keep moving and get up, break those tackles. But if we need to be able to get in there to Burrow, make him uncomfortable. And I'm not advocating to hurt the guy or anything like that. But let's remember when we played him last. Let's remember when, we were pressuring him and getting in his face. And unfortunately, he did go down for a long time. But we were always nipping at his heels. We were always right on him. So our front four or 4 or 5, whoever's on that line, we need to create havoc. That's going to help shut down the run game, and that's going to be the only way that we're going to stop Jamar Chase, by Joe Burrow not being able to get the ball to him.
Yes.
So we got to focus on that. Yeah.
Good idea.
So, all right, man. The fans want to see it. They want to know, where are we going with this one? Score predictions in this game, man. Will, what you think?
We are still Washington.
Yep.
It is still Monday night. Okay?
So wait. We're not going to hold them to 7 points, Will?
Right. Yeah, no. And so I'm not ready to say that our Monday night curse is completely gone. And the Bengals are coming off 2 losses. They're hungry. I feel they're too good to be 0-3. I think this game is very winnable for us. I'm going 24-17 Bengals.
Ooh, okay. I think we finally break our touchdown curse. I think we do score in the red zone, and I think our field goal kicker gets us there. But I still think we still only score 20 points, and I just think they have too potent of a pass offense. 28-20 Cincinnati at home on Monday night. Again, I think we look good. Mm-hmm. I think signs. And JD5 gets his opportunity to show the world what he can do, but we still got stuff we got to work on. So
we do. Look at us.
Yeah, come on
Look
now.
at us picking the opponent. I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Well, we did pick us to beat Tampa.
Uh-huh.
We ain't gonna have that again. But look, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Washington Football Weekly. We appreciate you guys stopping by, joining us, listening to us talk. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. We try to keep it sane. We're down to earth with it. We have a little fanboy time every once in a while, but we're down to earth.
Yep.
So, man, for my guy, Mr. Will Kramer, it is your boy Sean Spencer. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for all the good stuff in Let's Talk Football. Hey, and enjoy that game Monday night. And tomorrow night, who plays? I think the Jets.
The Jets and Patriots?
I think it might be.
I know it's Rodgers. Punk ass.
Let's see, right? Back in your deprivation chamber, man.
Right.
Good God. But hey, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, and as always, left hand up. Let's go.
Gibbs, you got a good chance. Let me tell you something about some good fans. Back in the day, RFK was our palace. If you don't know, you need to ask about us. Think we're gonna lose? Well, I can't believe you doubt us.